Rupert Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is the most conservative leading newspaper in America. It's on the desk of pretty much every Republican lawmaker. And just this week, Murdoch's own newspaper called out Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth for committing war crimes. This is major. When the conservative media turns on the Trump regime, you know something serious is happening. Part 1. What Hegseth did. Pete Hegseth, who served at Fox News for years before becoming Secretary of Defense, ordered what's called a double-tap strike in the Caribbean. This is a military tactic where you strike a target, wait for people to respond and gather, then strike again. But here's the problem. The targets of these strikes were boats suspected of drug smuggling, and after the first strike, survivors were in the water. Under international law and military rules of engagement, survivors must be rescued, not killed. According to reports, Hegseth ordered the second strike anyway, killing the survivors. This is being called a war crime. There is absolutely no legal basis for ordering the killing of survivors. The Department of Defense manual is very clear. A shipwrecked person does not constitute a threat. You do not use lethal force on survivors in the water. But Hegseth ordered it anyway. Everyone involved, from the Secretary of Defense to the Admiral to the people who pulled the trigger, should be prosecuted for war crimes. Part 2. The Wall Street Journal piece. The Wall Street Journal article did something remarkable. It didn't try to defend Hegseth. Instead, it showed this wasn't a one-time incident. This is who Hegseth is. The article's opening line was, "This controversy was a long time coming." Not exactly what you want the world to read if you're being accused of war crimes. The Wall Street Journal documented that when Hegseth led troops while on active duty, he directed them to disobey the law. He told them lethal force was acceptable if they felt they needed to use it, not just when someone was armed. This shows a pattern, a philosophy about war that disregards the law. That's much more serious than one mistake. That's systemic. Part 3. The International Criminal Court threat. Here's what's really telling. According to Reuters, an insider reported that Trump is very worried. He's worried the International Criminal Court will prosecute him, J.D. Vance, and Pete Hegseth for war crimes. So worried that Trump is working behind the scenes, trying to convince allies and even the court itself to grant immunity. He's trying to change the rules of the International Criminal Court so they can't prosecute. Think about that. If Trump and Hegseth believe their actions are legal, why are they working to change international law to protect themselves? Because they know what they did was illegal. Part 4. A 25% error rate. Senator Rand Paul pointed out something critical. About 1 in 4 boats that are interdicted by the Coast Guard don't have any drugs on them. That's a 25% error rate. So these strikes are happening against boats that might be drug smugglers. There's no confirmation. And even if they were smugglers, there's no evidence the people on board were armed. According to Paul, we have never in our past decided just to shoot smugglers who are unarmed without even proof that they're smuggling anything. And here's the thing, even the boats that do have drugs on board are not a military threat. They're a law enforcement matter. That's what the Coast Guard is for. But Hegseth is treating drug smugglers as military enemies and ordering their execution without trial. That violates every principle of law, military law, and international law. Part 5. This is not self-defense. Trump has been saying he's seizing Venezuelan oil. He's talking about Venezuela stealing American oil. But that doesn't make sense. Venezuela has its own oil. They're not stealing American oil. And even if there was a dispute, you don't go to war without Congress declaring it. The Constitution is clear. Presidents don't have the power to begin wars. Congress does. What Trump is doing is creating a military blockade of Venezuela. An oil blockade is an act of war. Bombing campaigns are acts of war. An invasion would be an act of war. But Trump hasn't gone to Congress. He's doing this unilaterally. That's unconstitutional. That's illegal. And it's not self-defense. We weren't attacked by Venezuela. This is a war of choice, a war of offense. And according to Rand Paul, it should not happen. Part 6. The DOJ memo doesn't protect them. The Department of Justice issued a memo over the summer claiming the U.S. is at war with cartels. They argued cartels are waging a violent campaign against the United States through drug trafficking. This memo was meant to provide legal cover for these Caribbean strikes, but there's a major problem. The DOJ memo might apply to federal prosecutions, but Pete Hegseth is in the military. If he's prosecuted, it would be a court-martial. Court-martial means military law applies. And under military law, you follow the Department of Defense manual, the Army manual, the Navy manual. These are the primary legal sources. The DOJ memo is not the law. It's not binding in military courts. This is exactly what happened with Abu Ghraib. In 2002, the DOJ issued a memo saying enhanced interrogation was legal. But when soldiers were court-martialed, they tried to use that memo as a defense. It didn't work. The Army handbook took precedent. The soldiers were convicted. The same thing will happen here. The DOJ memo won't save Pete Hegseth. Part 7. Admiral Bradley and the buck passing. Trump and Hegseth are trying to pass the buck. They're trying to make Admiral Bradley the scapegoat. But the Wall Street Journal article makes clear these decisions go all the way to the top. That's the last line of the article, Rand Paul saying these decisions go all the way to the top. The Wall Street Journal is telling readers that Trump and Hegseth ordered this, not some rogue admiral, not some low-level mistake, orders from the top. This is exactly what happened with Abu Ghraib. The low-level soldiers got court-martialed, but the lawyers and officials who gave the orders faced no consequences. Will history repeat itself? Will Hegseth be the scapegoat while Trump remains untouched? We'll see. Part 9. The mysterious second incident. Here's something interesting. About a month after the double-tap strike that killed the survivors, there were 2 more survivors from a different attack. And that was the same day Admiral Alvin Hosley announced his retirement. Why did he retire so suddenly? Was there another order to kill survivors that he refused to carry out? Did he resign because he wouldn't participate in war crimes? We don't know, but it's suspicious timing. It raises questions. Hopefully, after his retirement, Admiral Hosley will speak publicly about what happened. Part 10. The video they're hiding. Trump and Hegseth refused to release the video of the double-tap strike, the second strike that killed the survivors. Why would they hide it if it's legal? Because it's evidence. Evidence of a war crime. Evidence that will be used in domestic prosecution, evidence that will be used in international prosecution. If the strikes were legal, release the video, show the world. But they won't, because the video proves it was a war crime. And this video could be used not just in U.S. courts, but in the International Criminal Court. The world is watching. The international community knows what happened, and they're not going to let this go. Part 10. What happens next? Pete Hegseth has created legal liability for himself, criminal liability. He's exposed to court-martial. He's exposed to federal prosecution if he leaves the military. Trump is exposed to international prosecution at the International Criminal Court. And now, Rupert Murdoch, one of the most powerful conservative figures in America, is turning on them. His own newspaper is documenting the war crimes. This is only the beginning. As more information comes out, as survivors speak, as investigations proceed, the pressure will mount. The truth will come out. Congress needs to investigate. The International Criminal Court will investigate. The American people need to know what was done in their name. Part 11. The bigger picture. This isn't just about one double-tap strike. This is about whether a president can wage war without Congress. This is about whether military officers can execute unarmed people without trial. This is about the rule of law. If Trump and Hegseth get away with this, it sets a precedent. Future presidents will feel empowered to do the same. The rule of law will be weakened. Democracy will be damaged. But if they're held accountable, if they face prosecution, if the truth comes out, then we're sending a message. Even presidents and top military officials must follow the law. The Wall Street Journal article is a sign that accountability is coming. When conservative media turns on you, your days are numbered. The war crimes in the Caribbean have been exposed. The Wall Street Journal has documented them. The world knows. Congress will investigate. The International Criminal Court will pursue it. Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump ordered the killing of survivors. That's a war crime, and they will be held accountable. The rule of law matters. The Constitution matters. International law matters. And no president, no matter how powerful, is above the law. Thank you for watching, and may God watch over you.